Earlier this year, I came across a great pile of herbariums in a vintage shop, and I just fell in love with them. There was something about the care and attention, um, the beautifully pressed flowers, the little bits of tape that kind of attached them to the pages, the notes about the plants written very carefully, very neatly on each page. These herbariums were put together over about 10-15 years in the 1930s. 1930s, those pages, the plants are all held on by stitches, very, very careful stitches, each little bit of root being tethered to the page. But by the mid-1940s, that has given way to fine strips of sticky tape holding the plants in place. So you get a really clear view of the person who put together these, or the many people, the different people possibly, who put together these pages of pressed plants, really. So I was able to afford one of them and bring it home, and I spent so much time leafing through them, looking at each page, deciding which one could come home with me. And they're just beautiful things, and they have been informing all of the sort of creativity of this past year, really. And part of that is that they are, despite being beautiful and despite being really aesthetically pleasing, they're a record. They are recording the things that work and the things that don't, or more accurately, they're recording things which are not aesthetically beautiful as well as things that are. So everything on the page is arranged beautiful, for form, for beauty, for something that looks really nice, but at the same time it is really paying attention to showing off the scientific form of the plant. And some things, they are not that attractive. They are small and brown and kind of a little bit withered looking, and other bits are amazing with the swirls of leaves. So when I decided to record the plants growing in my garden here and seeing how they printed, I turned to the herbarium to see how best to do it. And I started with picking plants from the dye garden and learning through trial and error the best way to preserve them, really. And I wrote a course for Studio Club members, which gave me massive amount of kind of practice in working out all of the best ways to really preserve the way that things actually grow in the garden. And then I began to use these pressed stems to create botanical prints on old linen. I converted my old heat press, which was kind of left over from back when I ran a printing business, and I made it into a botanical contact printing press. One of the things that I find about botanical printing is that it is so easy to almost get too fast, too frenetic, and I find myself becoming much more muddled, less intentional in the things that I make. So I need to find a way to slow myself down, to make everything very, very deliberate, and also so that I don't end up with hundreds and hundreds of prints that I have no use for. So with this herbarium project, what I've been doing is embroidering the names of the plants, writing them in pen first and then back stitching them in a dark linen thread, building them up one by one, really thinking about it. And I'm not exactly sure what they're building themselves up into, but at the moment, when I see them on the wall like this, they look like they might be wanting to become a quilt.